I'm so grateful to have all of you guys here with me today. Again, it's Jacqueline Fletcher Johnson, and a lot of you already know my work, but in the coronavirus craziness, I also was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I started the Holy Crap, I Got Cancer During the Coronavirus comedy show. And so Lorna Landvik, who is one of my favorite people, one of my favorite comedians and writers, agreed to do this with me today, this kind of crazy idea to do a lunch and laugh experience, because what I've been finding throughout my treatment is that whenever I laugh, my symptoms are managed so much better. And I thought, if I'm doing really well, then I want you guys to do really well too. So that's kind of what we're doing here today. And the way that this is going to work is, if you guys pull up, you'll see that there is a chat, and you'll see that you can either message me privately as the host, or you can message all of us. And so this is how we're going to play today. We're going to play via the chat, because Lorna will be asking us in her improv performance today for suggestions, and she's going to build her characters based on our suggestions. So I'm going to need everybody to participate as we're doing this, so that Lorna can do her thing. And I want to introduce to you Lorna Landvik, who probably needs very little introduction, but she is a Minnesota treasure, as most of you know. She has written 12 novels, which is just amazing to me. Patty Jane's House of Curl was one of my favorite novels. That was her first novel. I lovingly recall Angry Housewives Eating Bonbons. And she's got a new one out that is called Chronicles of a Radical Hag, with recipes. And they're real recipes from her family archives, so that you can actually cook the recipes in the book. So I highly recommend that you check those out. She also does a live improv show every year at the Bryant Lake Bowl in Minneapolis. And that is something, if you haven't seen that, Party at the Rec Room, highly recommend that. So I will do this later as well, but you can find Lorna at her website, Lorna Landvik, VIK.com. And you can also find her on Facebook at Lorna Landvik Author.
Yeah. I'm thrilled to be doing this. It's very odd to be doing it on a bright spring morning. I'm usually in a dark theater. People usually have been drinking, so they're much more vocal. And I have a screen that I go behind to change into various costumes, props. So I don't have that today, but I am going to duck down when I need to grab something. So we're just going to have, you know, what more do we need in these very trying times than a couple laughs? So that's what I'm hoping to deliver to you, but I need your help. Don't be shy. I'm going to introduce you to all these people I've brought up into this little room in my house. They'd love to meet you. They're shy, so they do need your suggestions. So to start off, tell me a place you'd love to visit once travel is safe and okay. Any place in the world. And
okay.
Jackie will tell me.
Yep, if you guys put that in the chat. Okay, we've got Germany.
Germany, okay. And now tell me an emotion you might have felt this morning. Any emotion at all, if you had emotions. I know this is the Scandinavian crowd. Any emotion.
We're still working on places. We got a lot of good places, so when we need to travel.
Okay.
Okay, we have frustration about my hair.
Frustration about my hair. Thank you so much. And now tell me a television show that you are binge watching.
We have Dead to Me.
Dead to Me. Okay, people, we have Germany, we have frustration about my hair, and we have Dead to Me. Let's see who we're going to meet.
Okay. A little music.
Guten Abend, guten Tag. Sehr gut. Bin sehr delighted that you're here to join me. Only I wanted to look really pretty for you, as I am Angela Merkel's spokesperson. And I'm so frustrated about meine Haare. My hairstylist, Helga of Hamburg, is not yet ready to open up a salon. And so I've been trying to manage this wild hair of mine by myself. And as you can see, it's nicht sehr gut. But Angela told me I have to present a happy, smiling, gemütlich face for all the people who are trying to, cheer up during this very difficult time. But I tell you, my frustration has gotten so great that I'm starting to feel that Angela is dead to me.
All right. Woo-hoo!
That's how that works. And usually I have a blackout screen so that you will know when I'm done. Woohoo! Woohoo! But thank you for your good suggestions. Okay. Oh, wow. We have so many more people here who'd love to talk to you. So tell me your favorite flower.
All right. We have a lily of the valley.
Lily of the valley. Okay. I'll take that. Tell me something you're doing a lot of during these stay-at-home times that you may not have been doing before.
Oh, we have so many good ideas. Oh my gosh. Sleeping.
Sleeping, okay.
Yep.
All right. And now tell me the best advice your mother ever gave you, if she was wont to give good advice. If ever I ask that question, I often hear clean underwear, wear it.
Oh, this is great. Self-pity is self-destruction.
Self-pity is self-destruction. Wow, that is a good piece of advice. So let's see who we've got with Lily of the Valley, sleeping, and self-pity is self-destruction. Excuse me there for a minute. I seem to have dozed off. Well, welcome to my podcast, all you very loyal listeners. As you know, of course, I'm Lily of the Valley, the Appalachian Valley, where I broadcast my show, Narcoleptics for Fun and Laughter. I've really been finding that quarantine is helpful for a narcoleptic, in that nobody pokes you in the elbow, wake up, I can't go to church where my snoring seems to bother the preacher, I can't be standing in the express lane at the A&P and, goes off and my ice cream melts. By the way, I do appreciate a good Haagen-Dazs caramel ice cream. Anyway, I'm trying to keep up this podcast because I'm realizing narcolepsy is spreading like the wildfire spread on my off-ramp in the highway. Because what better thing to do than sleep away your problems during this time? So what I want to advise to you who are somewhat adverse to narcolepsy is to just get on the slow moving sleepy train. Dreamland is a wonderful place to visit. You can be anyone you want to when you go to Dreamland. I, for instance, imagine myself often as Jennifer Aniston in the Friends days, perhaps in the boudoir with Bradley Pitt in the Thelma and Louise days. It's hard because I tell you, my husband, he's an insomniac. And he refuses to get on the narcoleptic train, saying not only is he not willing to psychologically, he's not willing to physically. So between my snoring and and his flatulence, well, it doesn't make for a very nice household. So all I'm going to say to you narcoleptics and insomniacs and anyone who's trying to figure out what state to be in this state we find ourselves, is self-pity, is self-destruction. Hey, oh boy, there you go. There you have it. Oh my, I better take a sip of my drink.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, thank you. We met a narcoleptic. Wow. Tell me the name of your favorite uncle.
Okay.
Favorite uncle.
Okay, we got Jean.
Jean. Okay, now tell me a recent book you've read that you've loved.
We have writers and lovers.
Ooh, that is not an oxymoron, by the way, okay? And now how about a person in the news?
Fauci.
Dr. Fauci. All right, we have Jean, we have writers and lovers, and we have Dr. Fauci. Ooh, let's see who we find. Yeah, hey there, everybody. The name's Jean. Yeah, Jean Fauci. Yeah. I've been living up here in Ely for about 72 years. I gained a little fame recently, you know, because of my second cousin once removed on my Italian side, you know, Dr. Fauci. I'm related. And what I want to tell you now is something exciting, that they seem to have found that maybe Ely is a hotbed for the vaccine discovery, you know, because it seems that cold waters that, you know, are blended into the cold, icy Nordic air that circulates around Ely, especially in May, that it acts as an antibody in the trout. Yeah, and so I'm out fishing quite a bit. I'm quite a trout fisherman, even though I'm not really sure that trout can be found up in Ely. Maybe it's northern. Yeah, that's at Northern Pike. Anyway, they found that the antibody can be found in the left dorsal fin of either the Northern Pike or the whatever fish I said that I catch up here. I catch so many. I don't like to brag, you know, about my take. The only thing I've never caught up here in the waters near Ely is mahi-mahi. They don't seem to like our intemperate temperatures. Anyway, I was just driving around, because driving is okay, you know. So I was driving to my favorite spots in northern Minnesota, Climax and Embarrass, because my wife always says one or the other causes one or the other. Anyway, so I was driving around. I was in Climax, hands on the wheel, don't get any ideas. And I saw all these people lining Highway 41 with signs that were thanking me. It said, "Thanks, Jean Fauci, for being at the forefront of finding, you know, this fish vaccine." And by gosh, that made me want to pull off my mask and just go and almost hug somebody. You know, it's pretty easy, this no touch thing for me, because I personally don't like touch. That's why I got to drive to Climax to, you know, somehow you know, get what I should be getting, but can't. So anyway, I kept driving. I stopped at the Climax Library. Oh, you know, it's closed, but they do have curbside service. And who would have known it? a bunch of writers and lovers from all over the tri-state area had gathered there. Writers from Wisconsin, oh, they were plastered. You know, writers from North Dakota, there are some. And then all these lovers from Minnesota, you know, 6 feet away, you know, being proper. And they said, we just want to be out here to tell you, Gene Fauci, that we stand behind you. Some of us are thinking about writing not just a book about Dr. Fauci, but about all his second cousins who are so instrumental in helping this country bounce back. And you and your fish vaccine is one. So anyway, if you ever come up to Eli, stop, or Ely, whatever, you know, if you like the French pronunciation, you come by and stop at Gene Fauci's Fish and Polish Dogs, and I guarantee a good time.
Yay, that was awesome.
My. Oh, my hair, it gets so messy. Oh, wow, Gene Fauci. I had no idea that Dr. Fauci had a relative up in Ely. Wow, see what you learn here, people? So for our next guest, how about any state in this beautiful country of ours? Any state in the Union?
California.
California, all right. California, here I come.
Okay.
Oh, now we need another suggestion, right? Okay. How about something about the person you may be quarantined with that really bugs you, if anything does? Or something you do that might bug a person you are quarantined with?
Snorting his soup.
Oh my, that's something that bothers you? Okay, now how about the song you first slow danced to? Do you know what mine was?
What?
Do 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 do. Color My World. Color my color. Yep. I graduated
about Moon River?
Moon River. Oh my
Moon River.
God. That's great. Okay, so we have California, we have Snorting in His Soup, and Moon River. All right. Thank you. Oh my. I just emerged from the place in which I usually reside, which is the sedimental bottom of Moon River. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am the muse of romance, the muse of love, a muse that gets ignored. People think, oh yes, the muse of music, the muse of poetry, errata, eroto, Clio. But what about the muse of romance and poetry? That too must exist. Muse of muse. Oh, I'm so rattled. I usually don't breathe real air. I don't want to show you my gills. I don't want to freak you out, although I have shown Gene Fauci them. Anyway, I was quarantined, as I usually am, in the bottom of Moon River, which is west of the Susquehanna, east of the Mississippi, and south of the Missouri. It's a small river. Of course, you all know it because it was made famous by that Truman Capote movie, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Moon River. And when I heard that, let me tell you, I thought, finally, I'm getting some recognition for what I bring to the world. Romance and love. I was mortal once. You may wonder, how do muses become muses? I was mortal. I was a housewife in Poughkeepsie, but I was unhappy with a husband who didn't just inhale his soup, but he snorted it. First, I thought he was a narcoleptic, but no, he just had no manners at the soup table. And that's all I knew how to cook because I was raised in a soup kitchen. And so I got to wondering, isn't there more for someone with a heart like mine that just wants to expand and pound and pump, and who wants romance the way Ivana Trump wants 5-inch heels. So yes, I decided I've got to do something. And so I had read a poetry book by Keats. You might pronounce him Keats, but I say Keats just because I can. Anyway, he was writing in an ode to love, and I thought that's what I long for, love. And all of a sudden, I found myself out of my kitchen in Poughkeepsie and into the bottom of Moon River, swimming like the most glimmering, shining mahi-mahi fish. It was incroyable. I also learned French down there. Mais oui, parce que c'est la langue de le romance. But I don't want to show off. So now I'm in California because I just like the sound of it, California. And if you look it up, it's Greek for a place where cool people hang out. Bye. Oh my, she needed to go back to her sediment. Wow. Well, wow, I'm getting mermaids and all sorts of people up here in my little room in South Minneapolis. It is really something.
It is amazing.
So Jackie, so shall we go on?
Should we do maybe one more?
Okay, one more.
And it's amazing to me that you're doing this just in your house. So fun.
I barricaded my door because I'm afraid my dog's gonna come up, and he's got a really loud bark, but he's being really good. But I'm sure he's outside, you know, hearing these voices and thinking, anyway, okay, to wind up, tell me, how about another emotion? Any emotion at all?
We have glee.
Glee. Oh, I love glee. Okay, we have glee. Okay, now how about a line of a poem? Any line from any poem. Poem.
Quoth the raven nevermore.
Quoth the raven nevermore. All right, and now how about let's have any city in the world, any city at all.
Well, we got a couple Paris here.
All right, I shall take Paris. We have glee, we have quote the raven nevermore, and we have Paris. All right. Bonjour, ça va? Distinctly I remember it was in the deep December, and each separate dying ember cast its ghost upon the floor. I think that's how it goes. I studied Edgar Allan Poe when I was at Le Sorbonne, and I have memorized most of his poems. And I wrote a thesis on The Raven. Of course, in French, it's called Le Raven. And I'm here today. I'm filled with glee, although because I'm French, we express glee in different ways. You know, we don't do jumping up and down the way you Americans do, you know, it's so gleeful, you know. We take a more roundabout route to glee because we understand glee is somewhat in a maze. How do we get there? Is it something that we bump into? Glee. Is it something that is given to us by a person? No. Glee is like that maze in a cornfield in your states of Iowa, Ohio, Oklahoma, you know, any of the states that start with O. And we traverse it thinking, oh, is happiness around this corner? No, only more corn stalks. How about, is excitement over here to the droite? No, only more corn stalks. The moon is as high as an elephant's eye. Oh, that's a totally different song, pardonnez-moi. So why am I gleeful right now, though, in the milieu d'une épidémie? I know my French is good, because I'm French. Here's where you find glee. You know that the word is like a maze. We French, you know, they're that's Deutsch, très philosophique. And so when I say glee is like a maze, you know, your entry into it is like a maze. Pensez de ça. Think on that. When you are weary, feeling sad, I love that song. Anyway, you remember just by turning a simple corner, maybe you are so low and blue, and you turn a corner and suddenly you see a lilac bush. You see that glimmer of lavender, that purple, and that brings a smile. You are a bit out of your funk. You take another left turn. Oh, what you see the first daffodils bursting through the earth like little yellow angels ready to shine on you. And then that brings a bigger smile. And then you keep progressing and you are getting happier and, pardonnez-moi, happier, happier. And your little glee engine keeps going. I am finding glee. I am finding glee. Oh, here is glee. Ah, c'est bon. C'est très, très bon. Now, what I want you to do, people, because I have found that this is a really, really wonderful way to get happy, is a sing-along. And, whoa, I happen to have an instrument right here. A little ukulele. Ah, c'est bon. So I'm going to sing not a French song because, you know, French songs will bring you down, but an American song when I was in Baltimore doing my thesis on Edgar Allan Poe. And unbeknownst to many people, this was his favorite song when he was writing you know, the raven, like, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as if someone gently rapping. In between, you know, trying to figure out those rhyme schemes, he sang this song. And I want you all to sing along with me. Chantez avec moi, okay? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't ever take my sunshine away. Great. Who's not gleeful here right now? I want to know that. So, merci beaucoup. Bon chance to all of us because we are needing that good luck right now. And I'm so glad you joined us. And we will get through. We are all in this together. And if you go to Ely, check out that fish vaccine. Au revoir.
Oh my gosh, Lorna, thank you for doing this. And thank you everybody for showing up and doing this with us today. It was so fun to see everybody dancing and smiling and laughing, and just to see all of your faces as we were doing this was just an absolute ball. I want to make sure to say thank you to Lorna. Oh my gosh, thank you for doing this.
Thank you all for your suggestions. I love them.
Yeah, the suggestions were fantastic. So thank you for participating. And I just want to give a little shout out again to Lorna. So if you want to go to check out her stuff at lornalandvik.com. You can find her on Facebook at Lorna Landvik Author. Go purchase her books, especially I definitely want to read the newest one, The Chronicles of a Radical Hag. And if you haven't come over to Facebook to like my new comedy show, which I'm doing all these videos for, that's at CC, Cancer During the Coronavirus, CC Comedy Show. And you can find that on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you want to support my work, I just set up a Patreon. So you can go check out all of the extras and stuff that people are going to get if they support my art. And so that is at patreon.com. That's Patrean, Patreon. Wait, Arn, what is it? You're the editor.
O.
It's an O. Okay. patreon.com/CC comedy show. So go check that out. There's some fun videos and hilarious things over there. But thank you guys so much for doing this. Thank you, Lorna. You guys made me laugh. That was hilarious.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much for coming and supporting us. We all got to support each other, don't we?
Holy crap, I got the